Arrest her now." King Minos's voice thundered through the great hall. "How can we forgive the sin of knocking down Talos, the guardian of our island?" At his command, the royal guards raised their spears, their sharp points aimed at Medea. But just as they closed in, Queen Pasiphae quietly raised a hand, halting them in their tracks. "In our Crete, Minos," she said, her voice calm but firm, "we never ignore a woman's plea. Let us first hear what she has to say." Though a crease of anger remained on Minos's brow, he fell silent at his queen's words. He turned his gaze back to Medea. "Fine, speak, Medea. What is it that you want?" Medea lifted her head. Her voice was low, yet it carried an undeniable weight of authority. "Your envoys to Athens, King Minos, will soon depart. When they do, you must ensure that Theseus is chosen as one of the 9 young men." A stunned silence fell over the council room. Minos frowned, his suspicion clear. "Theseus, why him? Explain yourself." "As you have said, my king," Medea replied, "Crete values the principle of an eye for an eye. Prince Andragios died in Athens. For the scales to be balanced, the Prince of Athens must die in Crete. The lives of common citizens cannot atone for the death of a prince." Duke Halion, the eldest prince of Crete, grimaced at her words. "This is madness. Sacrificing a prince of another Greek city-state to the Minotaur will make Crete look like a barbarian kingdom to Mycenae. If Theseus dies, Athens will have a just cause for war. With Mycenae's blessing, they could invade us. Is that a risk you are willing for us to take?" Ariadne, his sister, quietly raised her head. "I disagree with my brother," she stated. "Even if war were to break out, it's highly unlikely that Mycenae would side with Athens. Mycenae profits far more from trade with us than they do from Athens. If it came to a conflict, their support would lean in our favor." Then Phaedra, the youngest princess, spoke, her voice trembling slightly. "We are all forgetting the most important thing. The Athenian army isn't the real danger here. The real danger is Medea standing right here, right now. This is a woman who can bring down kings and topple cities with ease. She could plunge all of Crete into crisis at this very moment." At this, Glaucus, the younger prince of Crete, raised a hand to calm the rising tension. "Phaedra has a point. However, Medea has come to us not as an enemy, but as an advisor, offering a way to avenge our shame. I agree with her proposal. I will ensure Theseus is included among the 9, and I will lead the special envoy to Athens myself." King Minos looked from one son to the other, his expression unreadable. Queen Pasiphae watched her husband, her eyes filled with worry. After a long, tense silence, Minos slowly rose from his throne. "Very well," he declared, "I will grant Medea's request. Theseus will be included among the 9 youths sent from Athens. Glaucus, you will lead the envoy." And ... he turned his gaze to the side. From the shadows, a man emerged and knelt before the king. It was Daedalus, the master craftsman. "You, Daedalus," Minos commanded, "will make the labyrinth even more complex. Ensure that once Theseus enters, there is absolutely no possibility of his escape. Daedalus replied with a faint, wry smile. Athens is my homeland, but it is also the city that exiled me. I will do as King Minos commands. My son Icarus and I will refine the labyrinth beyond anyone's imagination. A strange, knowing smile spread across the faces of Medea and Glaucus. In contrast, Deucalion and Phaedra looked tormented, while Ariadne remained silent, her face an expressionless mask. A few days later, Glaucus and his envoy were ready to set sail for Athens. Medea, though still appearing exhausted, approached King Minos. "Thank you for your wisdom, my king," she said quietly. Meanwhile, in Athens, King Aegeus sat on his throne, his son Theseus at his side. "Father," Theseus began, his voice careful, "when I mentioned Mycenae to the crowds, I saw a flash of worry on your face. I wish to know why." Aegeus let out a long, heavy sigh. "The true power in Greece, my son, lies with Mycenae. They hold commercial and political ties with nearly every city and tribe. They can mobilize an army greater than any other. It is never wise to defy them." Theseus's eyes flashed with youthful fire. "I don't deny their power, but Athens must maintain its autonomy. We can trade with them, but political interference and trampling on our rights is unacceptable. One day you will understand what I mean," Aegeus said, his expression darkening. "But Mycenae is not the only power meddling in the affairs of Athens. There is another. "What do you mean?" "I mean Crete," Aegeus explained, his voice laced with bitterness. "Because of Prince Androgos's death. We are forced to pay a terrible tribute. 9 young men and 9 maidens sent to Crete as a sacrifice each year." Theseus clenched his fists, rage boiling inside him. "As long as I live, there will be no more human sacrifices. If Crete continues to make these barbaric demands, I will be ready for war." Worry deepened on King Aegeus's face. Just then, a servant burst into the throne room. "Your Majesty, a Cretan ship is approaching Athens." "Is it a trade vessel?" Aegeus asked, hoping against hope. "No, Your Majesty. It bears the sigil of the tribute ship, the one that comes for the sacrifice." Miles away, aboard the approaching ship, Prince Glaucus stood on the deck, looking out at the open sea. A cruel laugh escaped his lips. "It's time," he said to the figure beside him, "to pay them back in kind." Medea, her face hidden in the shadows of a deep hood, simply nodded. Their ship sailed on, cutting through the waves, bringing misfortune and a fateful confrontation ever closer to the shores of Athens. Thank you so much for watching. This is just the beginning of a truly epic tale of heroes, monsters, and gods. If you enjoyed this story and want to find out what happens next, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss the next chapter. See you in the next video.